Good. We want to see a weak open, right? So we got ourselves. Look, yesterday we had a weak open, and look what happened, right? We had a weak open yesterday. Fucking market goes red to green. First big dip gets bought, and then we're off to the races. I like that type of action. You know, for me, I'd rather see a weak open because then we have more range in the market than a strong open. So when we're looking at the Qs, you see this type of gap, you should get excited because in a bull market, right, gaps get bought. That's just the way it goes. So today we're getting a little bit of a weak open again. You can see we actually opened up strong. We're kind of flooding down a little bit. We moved back about, 1 point on the QQQs. So that'll put us under yesterday's close. So we'll be watching kind of the same kind of action, right? Do we go red to green on this thing or what? If that's the case, there's going to be a lot of movers. If you look at the kind of liquid gainer stuff, there was getting no, there was almost no action in, there was a ton of action in a lot of different names, but there's really, we'll keep a few of these on this list. On the gapper list, there's almost nothing going. I know some of you guys, some of you small cap, penny poppers are gonna, like some of this stuff like Fomex. I didn't really like Fomex. It filled the gap pre-market on, its old move, but it's been fading back ever since. I always find that when they kind of fade back, like $2, $3 pre-market, then when they pop up a little bit, they have that pre-market resistance, and man, it's really, really tricky. So I actually kind of kept that one off my list. A few that I just kind of found, but I don't even think I'd probably play these little fuckers, those PGTI, which doesn't look like it's getting much volume on it, so I probably will leave this alone. And then the Snappy Chatty's kind of gapping down out of this bear flag. Snapchat moves thick, though. Like, when you think about, like, certain stocks, Snapchat does so much volume, but it's like it's a grinder stock. It kind of trades like how AMD used to trade. So you guys remember like how AMD used to trade? It would just be so thick with so much volume and it moved like 2 pennies an hour. Snappy Chat's kind of like that. Its range on this sucks. So we've got to kind of just be mindful of that. So top plays for today, this PDD, hold on, I've ranked these bad boys. Top plays for today, P to the DD. This thing was hot, man. Look at the pattern on this. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, 5th test. 10.9 million shares in volumes. That's how Indian people would say it. Damn, that's a lot of volumes. And this thing's got a nice breakout on it. It is an IPO stock, so when we think about sector momentum, right? Stuff that would get the market going, right? Or where does the momentum come? So there's sector momentum, right, in weed stocks. But the other kind of theme of 2018 has been IPOs, right? IPOs of all natures have been hot. It started with IQ, Huya, right? And then went to DocuSign and all of those other ones, Finco. IPO stocks have been hot this year. This is a new IPO, right? This thing came out 3 weeks ago. So yesterday was its first big day. It's opening week today. This bad boy goes red to green. That's going to be something that we could play for a move. So watch for the red to green move, but also, right, its high of yesterday's 23.50. On these IPO stocks, when you go and break previous day's highs, they can often go running. The one thing is going to be, don't chase it. Obviously, wait for this thing. Like, it trades clean, and it'll give you opportunity. You just don't want to chase it. Like, you have nice flags and all that kind of stuff that you want to play. But you don't want to get and start chasing this thing because, obviously, this thing had a big move. It could come busting down a couple bucks on you anytime. So be careful and watch the volumes. It is very important. All right? So that's going to be, our hot one. PYX. This did a name change. So some of you guys were trading this yesterday. It was called AOI. I don't know why they changed their name from AOI to PYX, but They did it. This thing moved very, very clean yesterday. You can see the gap up, the pullback to the 9 and the orb, right? We like to see that kind of action. When I'm looking at stocks and trying to figure out what I trade, you know, one thing that we always want to measure, we always want to look at is, does it move clean, but also does it move clean to the type of patterns that, you know, I like to trade, right? And so, you know, this particular one, it had all the juice, right? Expanding volume. Its float's only 8.3 million shares. It was coming out of range, you know, so that's also, man, I can't draw lines. We're a shit today. Fucking TC2000, right? Coming out of range, you know, and so that's also important, right? And frankly, it's just got, it had the juice yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on this one too. It's looking like a flat open. Watch yesterday's highs, of course, 25.50. If this thing orbs or something like that, we'll catch this thing. Grub a Dub had a nice little trend yesterday. It went red to green and also had a big push. Pull back to VWAP, nice move. Flat open on this one, so we can use any of our patterns on this. And then SQ flag pattern, it also had tons of momentum. It's got a lot of liquidity. It moves pretty well for having a 280 million share float. So far, we're getting a little bit of a weak open, but I think this one's going to have the juice too, right? Watch this kind of level from yesterday. If you bust back through or we orb through that, you know, we should be good to go. Hey, Matt, what's up, baby? Cool's got to, you know, Cool's tough because it's moving all over the place right now, pre-market, but you're kind of like in this bounce spot. Man, I don't know why when I draw my fucking lines, they're coming in diagonal like that. See that? Anybody know why that's doing that? Man. Maybe it's a mouse issue. Let me try this again. Oh! Anybody see that? Usually you just kind of draw that. You hold that control bar. Oh, man. This thing's really driving me crazy. It's been doing that to me for 2 days. All right. So, you got this thing. It's kind of at a bounce spot. Kind of at a bounce spot here. So, you know, but it is gapping below. I think 17's, 18's your support. So if you're going to try to bounce this thing, that's probably what you want to do it. Either at 17 or, you know, at 16. Look, this stock's just a huge turd anyways. It's been a range for a long time. Not my ideal type of play, but, you know, you could bounce it. Fuck! Does anybody see that? Listen, man, I draw these lines all day. See, as soon as I hit them, and usually you just hit the control bar, you can drag it. This thing is really... That's messed up. All right. Listen, man, it's working on the other side here. So this is something very, very specific to the left side. All right, so that's something kind of keep an eye on. Keep an eye on this porker. You know, has been hot to trot the last couple days. I think it may need a couple days rest on this thing. It's something to keep an eye on, but when you have 2 big up days like that, the third one sometimes is going to be, the third ones get choppy. Day 1, day 2, clean. Day 3, day 4, choppy. Always remember that, right? Because a lot of people like to short this stuff on day 3s. So then you get like that whole group of people that are like, it's a day 3, let's short it. And you're like, fuck, it's a bull market. Why would you short it, man? Let these things run forever. But they don't want to let them run forever. And that's just not right. And PVTL. Check this out. Right? 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests. This one, if it puts through, so its earnings are going to be later today. So that's probably why it hasn't moved. Keep an eye on this if it does break, but its earnings may be out any time today. I'm actually going to take that off the list because sometimes the little buggers, you know, they start spreading rumors before their earnings or right before their earnings, huh? But who knows? Earnings today, take that off the list. They always move a little bit more choppy when you do that. So that's really it. I mean, there's not anything too hot today. We'll have to fart around and see what's going on. But as you know, in trading, you only need 1 hot play, maybe 1.5. So we'll hunt around for them, but who knows? CLDR, let me take a look. What else we got? What else we got? Yeah, CLDR, you could play around with this thing. You know, it's a little bit sloppy right now. But, I mean, it's definitely watchable. Yeah, somebody was mentioning Apple today, too. Yeah, they do have some announcement thingy coming today.
They're unveiling all their new technology for the
Yeah, what are they going to do, man? They just robbed us all for $1,200 on those fucking iPhone X's. It doesn't even have the home button, so then you're always sitting there trying to cancel things out. It's incredible. $1,200.
They're raising the price.
Even worse, man, right? They try to lease those things to you. It's like, I just want to buy it. They're like, no, no, no. You have to lease it. Whatever happened to, you know, you pay $200 and you get the upgrade and then you just got to re-sign your contract. Those were the days. That was a nice thing. Hey, man, I'm just going to re-sign my contract, pay $200, get myself a fresh iPhone and a haircut, and I'm going to have a nice Friday. But they don't even want you to do that anymore. Man, they're trying to get you to lease these phones. And I lose like 3 or 4 phones a year, so you know, leasing these things is really a bad idea. Baba, let's take a look. Yeah. Look, these Chinese stocks have been in the dumper. Baba's probably due for a bounce. I do agree with that. But what's the pattern? Like, what's the edge on this thing? You know, maybe you get up to 164, but I'm not sure it's got too much more juice than that. So that's something to be careful. It's a short watch list today. You know, yesterday there was tons of movers in the market. Sadly, I traded like a dick and lost $200. But that's the nature of the game. We'll go get them today and make sure that we're going in. Fucking Tim better turn my fucking thing on or he will die. You can let him know that.